Good evening, everyone. I am Hirushi, and I, on behalf of Team Daily Mirror, is reaching out to you with another live session. And it is kind of a mission at the moment to maybe bring 2 to 3 live chats every week for you guys. So I kind of thought maybe I could bring creators, artists to inspire you to talk about their life and their stories, their backstories with you. So thank you for everyone who's joining with us right now. I can see a couple of people joining in. And you might have seen the posters of us preparing for the next session. And today I'm going to invite someone very special in the industry, given that in the photography industry, it is very rarely you see a lady photographer. So she is a celebrity photographer and a stylist. She's a designer, she's a stylist, she's a concept photographer, a celebrity photographer. And she has not just locally established herself, but she has taken the glory of the name of Sri Lanka around the world with her stellar talent. So it is with a lot of privilege I am inviting her for this chat. So I'm just kind of waiting on her now. It is Raffealla Fernando. For those who might have heard of the concept of the celebrity calendar, she's a pioneering photographer who brought up the concept of a celebrity calendar right here in Sri Lanka. And every year she manages to really bring something new, something fresh for us. So I think I want to keep almost all that, all the big details to actually talk with her and get it out of her herself. And also I've seen her making her own food and doing her own, having her own cooking experience at home too, which I've seen through her personal platforms too. So talking about this live session, we thought, being in the lockdown, sometimes it's important for us to kind of have a silver lining, to hear the perspective from other people, and also to see the experience from another person's eyes, which is why we thought of bringing different kinds of personalities on board to kind of see what everyone is up to. And if you feel like you are unmotivated, or you feel like sometimes you feel useless, just not doing anything, but don't feel that way. It's okay to slow down. This entire thing is to really help us see the big picture. So it's okay if you feel like slowing down, it's all right. Maybe every new day is a chance for us to rebuild on it, to kind of, kind of look into new things you can do. So I'm still waiting on Raffealla. This is kind of a trial run. But anyways, hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing well. I see a couple of people joining with us. And so we are currently in the situation of, we're almost approaching the end of the lockdown, hopefully. And it all depends on us, our responsibilities as citizens as well. So make sure you follow the guidelines and rely on verified social media pages to get your information. And make sure you share the right kind of information with people. And if someone is fighting for real information, or if there's some sort of a misconception when you're having a conversation with someone, make sure you go out of your way to help them get access to the right information. Because right now, more than anything, what is creating conflict, what is creating issues could be the wrong information. So that is also something that is something that you need to look into as well. And I'm still waiting on Raffealla. Let me see if she is still, maybe if one of Raffealla's friends could message her and get on board with us. Guess she's still joining in. But yes, so until she joins with us, I will take a moment to talk about how my lockdown has been. Well, we've been working around the clock. Our team has been making sure that we convey all the updates to you guys on time. And also personally on the lockdown, besides my side work, I've been up to exploring new talents too. And I can see Danu also joining with us. Hi Danu, and Rafi is also here. So I would love to definitely get Raffealla on board. Here we go. We are Raffealla.
Hi.
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 I was kind
Hi.
of concerned that you were not going to make it.
Oh my God, no, I was waiting. I think there was like a small network issue and I just got that fixed. So sorry about that.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'm really, really excited because I mean, we've been very good friends and I've seen you,
Of
you
course.
know, every day doing something amazing. So I thought of definitely having you on board. And also, I was just telling everyone about you. I was just telling that how, you know, there's not a lot of female photographers in the industry. So, like, it's kind of really refreshing to see a girl going out there, filling that gap in the industry. So, like Rafi, like, let's talk
Yeah.
about your experience as a photographer. And I'm a big fan of your celebrity calendar personally. So that's just one of many things you do. So you and
Yeah.
your beloved companion, you both are into like styling, photography. So
Yeah.
just tell me, how exactly did you like get into this whole photography situation? When did you realize that you have a passion for it?
Well, it was in my schooling days itself, Hiroshi, because I was in the photography society. So I used to have a camera when I was 16 years old itself, you know. So I used to take pictures, and you know, my friends were like, "Oh my God, Rafi, your photographs are so nice." So it gave me that little energy boost, and then I took part in a couple of photography competitions and stuff like that. But photography was like my backup thing, you know. I wanted to do designing first. That was like my main thing. So that's how I actually started, like when I was 16 years old. But professionally, I started in 2010. So this is my 10th year, like for this year. So it was like a really weird, I would use the word weird, you know, because
Weird.
when I started, I didn't have like idol or like a reference person to look at, you know, because you know most of the photographers are males, you know. So every time I see, I'm like, whom do I look up to? You know, I was like really confused when I was. I was about 20, 19 years old, so I was very young, you know, and I didn't know like how I'm going to do photography in future. And it was such a different art form I picked for myself as well, conceptualize photography, which is still so new in Sri Lanka, you know. So the journey was like, you know, it was like a roller coaster. I had a lot of ups and downs because, you know, I mean, it's now after 10 years, after 8 years, I think people accepted the concept art form in Sri Lanka. So I think I'm just happy, you know, that I'm part of it.
Definitely. And what I realized was in your photography, you're not playing it safe. Like you're not trying to fill a certain, you know, like a set of rules or regulations, or you're not trying to stick to a framework. What I've seen is like super abstract, you know, like some things are very out of the ordinary. And like even the people who have taken part in the calendar, what I've realized is that you have brought a different color out of them. Some people who might be innocent looking, conventional, you have brought out like a gangster feel to them. And those who are actually like giving out the gangster vibe, you have put them in a more vulnerable tone. So how do you really like change their personalities? How do you go out of your way to take that risk and put them in a different, like a shape or a form or a color? How is that experience?
I think because whenever we plan the RFCC shoots, like the calendar photo shoots, we work a lot on the concepts, you know. So first we come up with the concept, then we do the casting, you know, we try to figure out the best styling, because we have a challenge there. We can't destroy the artist. We have to take a different, you know, look out of them, but not destroy their image, you know. So that's like a big challenge for us as well. So it's a long process. We first come up with the idea, then we do the brainstorming, we get the best idea, then we develop it, and then we kind of plan the styling, because styling plays a big role. I think in my case that works in my favor because I'm a stylist and a designer myself, and I style all my shoots. So when I plan the concept, I know the outfits, the makeup, the jewelry, you know, what I'm going to do with it. So it's kind of easy for me because the pre-planning happens at home, like then and there, because I do almost everything in the shoots. So I think, yeah,
Nice. And also, like, have you ever come across like challenges, like unexpected things happen, and you're just like super confused, and you somehow overcome it? Like, do you remember anything like that?
oh my God, yes, because you know, sometimes these locations that we go to, I mean, if you have seen, I have shot on the streets, like these crazy places, shanties and jungles, and all these like places where a lot of
A variety
people,
of places.
yeah, different places. So then the location issues, like, once at one of these shoots we had a lot of leashes, on the camera, on the outfits. So it was so hard, like, to do the shoot. And it took about like 3-4 hours for us to like settle in. And then also one of these RSVP shoots, we shot in a beach which was haunted, and we couldn't shoot for like 3-4 hours. We were just in one place trying to figure out what's happening because there was this white mist. So those
Oh
were
my
like the
goodness.
challenges, I mean, unforgettable moments of RFCC. It's just, I still get
There's many.
goosebumps.
You can write a book about it, actually. Wow, that's really like I can imagine. And also, Rafi, like taking photography internationally, you know how we all, when it comes to music, yes, we have various platforms to submit our music. We have won awards. Art Films in Sri Lanka has definitely made it. So taking Sri Lankan photography into the international platform, like
Yeah.
what is your, I mean, if we talk about your milestones and your experiences,
Yeah.
where can you position yourself?
I'm still like, I just kept my baby step in 2013. So I had my first work tour in India. So, and that was like a really big change for me as like a photographer, as a creative person, because that was just after 3 years working in Sri Lanka. And I was doing conceptualized photography, and I was in a stage where I wasn't so sure, like, am I doing the right thing? Because it was not like the thing in Sri Lanka. So when I went to India, I got so much love and accepted. So that's when I just got that like energy boost. Okay, what I'm doing is right. So I consider that as one of the most important places, like important things of my career. And then I think for me, 2016 was the best year where I really went out there internationally as a designer and as a photographer. Because as a designer, I showcased at the London Fashion Week, and I also got the opportunity to showcase at the Prince Charles Charity Trust 41st anniversary, like the fashion show, which was a charity show. So, and I was the only Sri Lankan there as well. So it was like a big deal for me because being, just after 6 years of my career, just getting that kind of a big exposure, I think that was like a big deal for me as a designer. And also as a photographer, it was very unexpected 2016 and 17 because I was nominated for 2 international awards and I actually won them as well. One award is the
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. One is the IA Award, the International Achievers Awards in London, and they had about 100 contestants all around the world. And then, I mean, obviously, I genuinely, honestly didn't feel that I would stand a chance because I was so new and, I didn't have that confidence in me also because it was like an international arena. So, of course, then I get this email that I have won the award, and it was like really shocking for me. So that was my first award, and the second one was like a world rank, the Vista Awards. That's also in London. So they give like world ranks, and they had about 310 contestants, and out of that, I was ranked 8 for like in
Not very
2016.
shocking to me, but not very shocking to us because as spectators, I mean, we've seen your work and it's definitely extraordinary. And also like Rafi, like stepping into the styling part of yours. I mean, I have personally modeled for your brands and I mean the experience is amazing and I think everyone would agree with me, anyone who has worked with you.
Why is so fun working with you too? I want to tell the guys she has this crazy energy on set. You're just not going to feel tired. It's just so much fun working with Hiroshi.
I think it also comes from the photographers and the stylists side too. I mean, if they don't reciprocate, if they don't reflect that energy, I don't think I would have put it out. So I think that that same leveling up like with the energy is really important when you're working with something like that. And also like talking about your styles, also it's very like colorful, very abstract, super like not like disciplined. It's very, very out there and it brings out like a nice like a sweet side of you. And when I wear like certain brands also certain colors also I felt it. So what is the element of what makes your styling brand unique, like if you can talk about it a bit?
Yeah, when it comes to styling, Hiroshi, what I always believe is like you have to design something what you would wear as well. So I think I'm just reflecting myself with all my clothes or styles that I'm doing. it's very me, it's colorful, it has a dark side as well, and that's just me for you. I mean, I have the dark side and I'm very colorful. So that's what I'm trying to portray from my, styling and designing. And when it comes to ready to wear, so obviously it has to be something someone would wear, and at the same time something very unique also, because we have so many clothing lines, but it's just not going to look different. Like, it's just the same thing we see, like, not in a bad way, but as designers, we always try to push a little bit more, than what we usually see. And I'm just trying to like do like a mix and do like color outside the lines. Yeah, a bit colorful.
Nice. And if whoever wears it, like they have to feel like, oh, this is Raffealla. Like your brand has to come out. So there's a certain personality or a part of you that has to come out from it, which is why maybe you do that. That's really nice, actually. So have you been up to anything when you, like during your quarantine period? Have you been styling or have you been exploring a new skill? I mean, something I think you might want to talk about, the pictures
I
you've been posting.
yeah, I just started cooking, which is so new for me because, I mean, as you know, I got married last year. So before that, my mother was like, I don't know, like, if she would cook, or walk to the kitchen. But I'm just daily cooking something. I'm exploring myself, and I'm just loving that bit about me, that wife mode on.
Wife mode
And
on.
that I'm enjoying. Like I love cooking and trying out new stuff, and yeah, that's the new skill that I explored during the quarantine period.
Yes, personally, I was keeping an eye on those, like on that the coffee shake or the chocolate
Knowing,
shake that you.
obviously,
Yeah, it looked really good. You owe me one, I think, after this.
of
Maybe like once
course,
all of this is sorted, maybe you can like make an online
make the
IGTV
chocolate
recipe
cake
or something.
of course.
Exactly. So like, and have you been watching any movies or have you been exploring something new? Just talk a bit about that.
Well, I watched quite a lot of movies. I read some books, and I was working on my illustration skills because Hiroshi, talking so honestly, when we start working daily, like for designing brides and designing for brides and doing other work, we have a template that we follow because we have to keep up with the time. So now it's the time that we really go back to our uni days and, really practically, manually do our sketches, color them, really work on our illustration. So I think I enjoyed that bit because I really didn't have the time to do that before. So I loved that bit because I was working on some illustrations because you obviously have the talent, but kind of lose the skill when you just don't practice it for some time. So I'm just like trying to keep up with the sketching and illustration and a little bit of creativity there. So illustrations I was working, and then the cooking on the other hand, and movies I did watch quite a lot, and fun ones, some documentaries, and then some books, and yeah, just
Awesome. And if you could just like maybe if you have a dream to dress someone up, like it could be a public figure, it could be one of your most favorite people. If you could like, if you had one wish to like, meet someone and dress them up, like who would it be?
it's gonna sound so weird. It's gonna be Shah Rukh Khan because I'm a
I knew it.
I'm a crazy fan of Shah Rukh Khan. So if like one wish, like to design for one celeb, it definitely has to be Shah Rukh Khan, and yeah.
All right. Let's just kind of, work towards, getting his attention on that. Maybe it's
I know,
possible.
right?
Social media is like super, intangible. You can definitely reach out. So, Rafael, that was a warm-up question to our rapid fire round. So I'm going
Okay,
to ask you a few quick questions. You just, you can think a bit and just give an answer. What do you say?
awesome.
All right, let's do it. So, number one, who is your favorite superhero and why?
Deadpool is a superhero.
Yeah.
He's just so witty. I just love his sense of humor.
Sarcasm.
His sarcasm is just next level. If he's a superhero, yeah,
And
he's
also,
like,
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a genius.
I know it's just crazy. Like, you just laugh your lungs out, and it's just so good. It's so, so good.
Nice, nice. All right, you succeed with your first question. Don't worry, it's not going to be that difficult. Number two, if a movie was made out of your life, what genre would it be? Like, what kind of a movie would it be? Definitely not
Uh,
horror.
Of course not. I think it should be like a romantic comedy.
Good one. I agree, I think. From what I've like, from our friendship, I know it's definitely going to be a comedy. So
Comedy.
the rest,
Yeah.
it's up to you. And if you could trade lives with someone for one day, who would it be?
Gauri Khan.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
I
I
mean, I
see
hope
what you
that
did
she's
there.
not going to mind me, like,
I mean,
doing.
who wouldn't want to trade like lives
I
with
know,
Gauri
right?
Khan? All right. If you were ever going to make the headlines on a newspaper, what would
Okay.
it say?
Uh, I don't. I mean, something to do with photography or designing, because I'm a good girl. I mean, all the other side, like they can't say anything else. Obviously, they don't know me for anything else other than photography and designing. So if it's the newspaper headline, it has to be something to do with photography or designing, yeah, for sure.
Definitely. All right. It's not definitely going to be something like you robbed a bank or something because you're such a nice, like
I'm
super,
such a
super
good.
chill person. And if you were given an opportunity to act in a TV show, which TV show would you pick? And this is something that you get to live, like acting in it, you get to live it, you get to experience it. If you could pick a TV show where they're casting and then you get to be in it, what TV show would you pick?
Seriously, um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I don't know. I can't think of any because I can't imagine myself in a TV show. But maybe no, no. Let me
You
not.
can't think of anything?
No.
Maybe a movie? A movie?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of movies that I would be in.
Definitely a
I
Shah
would
Rukh Khan one.
no, I would say Titanic. I want to be Jack.
Really? You want to act? Oh, interesting, interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like, I mean, I don't mind because he's an artist and he got that like really sensitive, romantic vibe. So I just wouldn't mind just being that. I just like that character.
Nice, nice. And the last question is, if you had the power to be invisible, where would you go first?
At the moment, I would go to my mom's place because I miss them so much. I haven't seen them in
Oh,
40 years. So right now, I would do that. If not, I mean, just yeah, to my mom's place. Apart from that, I'll just roam around here and there because right now it's like curfew
stalking.
and lockdown. I can just go anywhere and just walk around. I'll just roam around.
All right, that makes sense. So yeah, that is just a few questions I had in mind for you. So we can just wrap it up as well. And also before we wrap up any of these, I would like to ask you actually, this is out of curiosity, and also some of those who are joining also had this question. So when you're like styling or when you're doing a design, how does it begin the process? Like, do you get like an actual like a picture in your head and you start doing it, or do you fit a certain requirement? How does it happen?
When I design, like my process is I first work on my inspiration. So then I just do like a little brainstorm. I kind of get the things that I really want to highlight in that design, like whether it's a sleeve or like something dramatic or it's a print or the color and all that. So I just make a list of that. Then I start doing the sketches and develop them because you have to, like, I think as designers, design developments are really really important because you need to develop the design that you initially do. I mean, sometimes you just go back to the first design. That's like, I mean, it has happened with me as well, but it's still good for the process that you do a couple of designs that you know that you just did not settle with the first option you had, that you have a couple of options. So that's how I usually design. I have like a process which starts from the inspiration to the developments to the final outcome.
Lovely. So may you have the blessings and the power to do more and more designs. And
So
all,
much.
of course, like I see so many people telling so much good about your calendar and your style and how you deliver. So when are you going to start working on your 2021 calendar? And do you have any surprises in mind? Maybe we can drop
Uh,
a hint if there's any at the
I just
moment.
on the concepts. So, I was supposed to shoot this month itself, but like with the current situation, so it's everything is just going to get postponed. But I'm working on the concepts, and I've kind of finished around 6 to 7 concepts as well. So just after this period, I'll be starting to shoot. And yeah, I have a lot of surprises for next year, because I mean, every year I try to push a little bit more. So it's just gonna get
Excited.
better. Hopefully, next year's calendar will be better than 2020.
Yes, and we hope that everything will be back to normal so we can all, aspire to do what we do and go out there and, make the best of it. So thank you so much, Rafaela, for joining with us. And so thank you so much, because photography is an area that platforms barely touch on, because it's a very niche, it's a very reserved uh, talent. It's a expensive reserved talent, and not a lot of girls also get into it. So we see someone like you representing that skill that's destined to be out there. So thank you so much for doing that, and all the very best with the concept development, the designs, your clothing line, the calendar, everything. And we are hoping to see more and more next year. So all the very best with everything.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Hiroshi. So nice
All right.
talking to you, and thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And with that, we are wrapping up today's live session. Thank you for everyone. On behalf of Team Daily Mirror, I want to thank everyone for being a part of this. And we will be bringing a few other live sessions throughout the week. We are hoping to bring a few more artists to talk, maybe sing, to have a conversation. So you can also engage with us and, give out your concerns and questions your way. And so today's one, we're wrapping up. Please do stay safe, do everything to support the national response, follow the guidelines, and make sure that everyone is intact with the right kind of knowledge. And with that, we are wrapping up. I am Hirushi. Take care and have a blessed evening.